Apache, survival, and loss of dominance. The Curicayua are a prominent group of Apaches. They had no doubts about their survival strategy. Faced with persecution, they sought refuge in the mountains or rugged terrain, places that provided them an advantage to continue their resistance. If the situation became desperate, they would even sacrifice and eat their horses, knowing they could obtain more through theft. In comparison, the Apaches and Pueblo and Mescalero inhabitants of the nearby mountains sought shelter in these hard-to-reach locations. On the other hand, the Lipan, whose territory was mainly on the plains, were more exposed to danger. Due to this vulnerability, they never chose to kill their horses, as they were essential for camp transportation and self-defense. Without horses on the plains, they would be at the mercy of other tribes. The Apache domination over the southern plains began to decline when horses spread beyond their control, and other tribes managed to acquire them. One of the main reasons for this change was that the Apaches never dedicated themselves to horse breeding. Despite their proximity and access to an almost inexhaustible source of these animals, the Apaches preferred to steal, trade, or capture wild horses instead of focusing on their care and breeding. In 1724, a French explorer observed that the mares suffered numerous abortions because the Apaches constantly rode them for raids or hunts without providing necessary care for their reproduction. The Apaches were not particularly fond of agriculture, but almost all of them used it as a means of subsistence. The Silans were the ones who practiced it the most, even using irrigation for pumpkins, beans, melons, peas, wheat, tobacco, and corn. Corn was the most important crop for winter food, and its seeds were buried in spring before heading to the plains to hunt bison. The Lipan and Mescalero also did not practice agriculture much, as it was completely subordinate to hunting and raids. The Curicayua, being so far from the plains where bison grazed, relied on hunting and raids to obtain spoils for their sustenance. Their economy was primarily based on hunting buffalo and antelope, as well as gathering wild plants like prairie turnip. In addition to hunting and gathering, the Apaches also practiced small-scale agriculture. They grew corn, beans, and squash, and also collected wild fruits and seeds.